Shulam and Brocha, Parshas Vayishlach. First, I want to share with you a bit of sad news. Nebuch Harav Y Reuven, who was the author of the Oilers Shabbos series on the Parshas, was nifted recently. A multifaceted individual who wrote such beautiful Torah thought and so easily digested to the common world that we're living in. He was a Talmud, born in Toronto, above a Talmud. I never had the chus to know him personally, but I read his Torah. He ultimately became the Rosh Yeshiva of the Toronto Bova Yeshiva. And then about 15 years ago, he moved to Eretz Israel. He went into the business world. He was very matzliach there. Left over a large family, I'm sure, broken, but I hope today's Torah is something that he wrote about, and I hope in some way our schis will give them some chizik. So he writes about throughout history, throughout the millennia, almost no single character has received such negative treatment as Eisav, the brother of Yaakov Avinu. To a former Yid, to a religious Jew, Eisav is the epitome of everything that is bad and not moral, just totally against everything we try to stand for. In fact, the Svarim HaKadoshim and the Svarim are constantly bringing up the metaphor that Eisav in some sense symbolizes the Yetzer Hara, the evil disposition within every person. That little bit of, that's Eisav, that shtickle Eisav in each of us. So in this way, it's interesting to note that on numerous occasions in this week's Parsha, Eisav is referred to as your brother Eisav. Torah says, then Yaakov sent angels, Malachim, ahead of him to Eisav, his brother. Then we have the Malachim return, the angels return to Yaakov, saying, we came to your brother Eisav, and notably Yaakov turns to the Eibush and says, Ratavami, rescue me please from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Eisav, for I fear him. So evidently, Yaakov is fearing two different Eisavs. One is Eisav, and one is my brother. So what in fact are these distinct, what are these two parts of Eisav? There's no disputing that for Yid, for Jews, we are unsurpassed in being the history's greatest wanderers. There's no place in the globe you can't find, Jews are all over. We find ourselves, I was astounded, people were telling me that in China there's minyanim today, mashgichim come and go, and places, wherever there's, whenever you read in the papers that some kind of a disaster, natural disaster happened, there's a Chabad house that comes to the rescue. Jews are all over. We've been everywhere. Right? Which nation has not affected by the presence of a Jew? So in our wanderings, the Yid has taken up residence in settings so numerous and so diverse that even simply listing the places, the countries, which have played a host to us would be a large task. In a more general sense, I think that two distinct patterns with one common thread emerge from this our history. It's not ever been easy to be religious, to be a Frum Jew. It's never been easy. It's not meant to be easy. This is what it is. So each place we find ourselves in this golus that we're living has presented its own set of problems which have tested us and our commitment to Kaviyuchel the Eibishter and the Torah. Be it the Inquisition in Spain, or the pogroms in Eastern Europe, or the assimilation in Germany. Life in Golus has never been supportive of a Torah Yid. It's never been easy to be steadfast. I don't have to tell you, in America, before the Mechumah, just to hold Shabbos, there were shuls, Orthodox shuls, that davened early Shabbos morning so they could daven and go to work. That was America. So there's a common thread going through all this. The two distinct patterns relate to the way in which the Jews, betochen, his faith, is tested. There are times, indeed probably the most of the time, that the Jew is hated and ostracized for being a stranger. Avram Avinu says, I'm a stranger here. I might be living here, but I'm a stranger. Being different. On beatings and deaths. Kiddush Hashem. That was not uncommon in our history. No doubt, such treatment tests the fabric of a Yid's neshama. If you're going to be able to Vayishlach, to withstand the pain and the loneliness of being a Jew. Other times, just the opposite. The Jew's faith has been tested and pressured not by sticks and stones, but by outstretched hands. Come, be like us, get on board. Perhaps in its subtlety, this is indeed a bigger nesoy and a bigger danger than the other tests. History bears out that while nations of the world made little headway trying to beat the Jew into submission, when they tried the ploy of enticing us to come and join them and do as they do, there they found a lot of success. What Poland and the Litva never managed to accomplish with their oppression, that is to break the Yid's steadfast adherence to his religious life and to his Torah, North America has accomplished quite admirably without even consciously trying to do it. Welcome to the Golden Medina. A bit of try for food, a pair of tickets to the baseball game on a Shabbos, seductive enticements, subtly undermining the commitment that we had as now. I was born in that time when there was hardly any day schools. That there were no large communities of Frumma Yidden, of Torah Digger Yidden. There was no huge yeshivas. It was just, and it was hard. It was hard to be the one guy who doesn't want to take a car on Shabbos while everyone else is driving past and you're waving at you. So many a Jew has fallen by the wayside because they were lured into this kind of seemingly this great success, which is offered by the Western materialism, right? All you have to do is get on board, take the memo. It would be naive to think that only borderline Jews who are grappling with the foundations of what their religious life should be is affected by assimilation. I'm telling you, clear your glasses and take a look. The test is present at every level of Yiddishkeit. The war is waged on every front. It's just a matter of how far the enemy has already infiltrated. Okay, you could say ultra-Orthodox, if you will, from a Chaydish Jew is not usually in danger of throwing away his commitment to Torah and to Yiddishkeit. Not even for the riches of Rockefeller, but still, you have to battle. It's there. Is his Shabbos reminiscent of the Tish that the Zayde used to have, with Torah and Zmiras and togetherness, or has Shabbos in some way begun to resemble a day of rest? Read the papers, relax, have a couple of whiskeys. How important is money and the perks of money to even the most religious person? How far would he stray from the Torah to enjoy financial success? Some of the shilas that people ask, I said, what are you thinking? Is it worth Lashon Hara or two? What has the word vacation become to the North American Jew today? All right, now we're in Corona when no one's going anywhere, but really, excursions on boats and cruises and Klat Kosher this and Klat Kosher that, hotels in faraway places for Pesach, non-gebroks. Do me a favor. Where is that going? Well, who's driving that? Look at the clothing. Check the phones. Look how the girls and the boys, how they dance b'chasnas, and how the music has slowly evolved to the thump, thump, thump of the latest rock craze. Is this how things were 100 years ago or 50 years ago? There's so much more. There's so many issues we could talk about. And we have to grapple with these things. And we should talk about them in the family setting. How far do I allow my brother Eisav into my life? That's the problem. There you have to be. Yaakov Avinu davens to Kaviyuchim the Aish to rescue me, ratavet me, rescue me, please, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Eisav, because I'm frightened of this. Sometimes the Yetzer Hara comes as Eisav, standing ready with sticks and stones and to beat us into submission. In our generation, he has made his mark by playing the role of kindly, very clever, left-wing kind of liberalism, and it's okay. You shouldn't say that. It's a woke, and they're more than willing to teach little Yaakov the tricks of his trade. So we should be very wary of these sly antics. So this was a Torah that Rav Hoffman wrote out. Aish Kodesh, so seine Gittospeite für ganz Klal Yisrael. Ja, gewaltige Yid, mit größtes Chesed. I only hope and pray that the family should have chizik and strength to carry on in his ways.